Hi guys, it's Sterling Spectre here, welcome back to the Mining Show. Today we've just got a quick one. We're going to go over three things and we're just going to have a look at the Ethereum block time as our first thing. So obviously here it says average block time is around 13.5 seconds. We have the average network hash rate here of around 900 terahash on the network. Well, it would be kilohash, but 900,000 terahash on the network. This is different from yesterday, as we covered in our kind of live update over or what we were doing. At the current time of the live update, we are only on block maybe 400, I think. And now we're up 6,438. So it's been about 6,000 blocks since we last checked in yesterday. Average block time has gone down since yesterday as well, obviously because of the Great Glacier update. And we're also seeing, if you can see here, the block time thing to the side of the screen right here, we're having these green, blue and yellow blocks. And yesterday, before the Great Glacier, or just at the time of it that it was updating, we were having mostly yellow, orange and red blocks, which were, upwards of 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds per block. Now we're right down to 8 seconds, 12 seconds, a couple of outliers of 30-second blocks, but for the most part, overall pretty good. Since then, the difficulty has also shot up on the network. So we've seen yesterday that the difficulty had a slump going downwards, and then it shot up to about, I think it shot up 1 million more on the network just because people were coming back onto it, I suppose. And, gas fees are just the same as the transactions. It doesn't really affect what miners are doing in terms of gas spending. So I don't really know how to compare that to yesterday. But overall, it's looking good, and the Great Glacier is finally updated. Obviously, it took about, I think it was 1,000 blocks before we started to see the actual difference come in, because nodes had to be updated, and all these other nodes and validators have to be updated. Currently, the nodes, we've got 64 out of 66, so there's 2 more to be updated, I believe. But for the overall, this Ethereum block time delay has gone pretty well for the Ethereum team. They were saying that they had a drop-off, the last update that they did, of around 20% of their nodes were not updating. So this time, obviously, it's gone through better. We are still having long block times, but the average is obviously 13 seconds. Now, how does this compare in profitability? Well, if we go over to whattomine.com, we can see with a 3090, we are getting around, still in the negative, I believe, or maybe just above positive. But it says here that the block times are down to 13 seconds, and the block reward is 2.03, which has always been. We're also getting more estimated rewards if we go on What2Mine in the next 24 hours. This is probably because of the fact that less people were on the network and then more people have started to join it. So we don't really know how to take these What2Mine figures, because they're maybe delayed by a couple of hours, or maybe they just update every day, depending on what the difficulty is at the time and the rewards estimated. So currently it is kind of profitable, but it's not exactly profitable to the point where you'd want to switch on your machines again. Now, the second article that I want to go over is the Intel ships crypto mining ASIC at the worst possible time. Chipmaker finally ahead of schedule, only to find it arrived too late. So this is talking about the Intel ASICs that they are bringing out. Intel has begun shipping its cryptocurrency mining block scale ASICs slightly ahead of schedule, and the timing could not be more unfortunate as the digital currency value continues to plummet. Raja Koduri, the head of Intel's Accelerated Computing Systems and Graphics Group, tweeted Wednesday that the company has started an initial shipment of the block scale ASIC to crypto mining farms Argo Blockchain, Hive Blockchain and Grid. It just shows the tweet here and then goes on to say Blockscale is shipping a couple days ahead of Intel's previously stated release window for the third quarter, which begins Friday. Even if it's a tiny head start, it's nonetheless an achievement for a corporation that is becoming notoriously underscheduled across multiple products, including Sapphire Rapid server chips and discrete arc GPUs. In this case, however, Intel is the victim of a much larger forces beyond its control. The block-scale ASIC, that's an application-specific integrated circuit, typically a chip designed to be good at very particular tasks, such as facilitating blockchain transactions. It's arriving at a time when many cryptocurrencies have been on the decline for the past few months. Bitcoin, for instance, has dropped 60% in value from the beginning of the year, and for a second time this month dipped below 20,000 in value today. A grim marker for the digital currency that went as high as 64,000 over the past couple of years. Then it just goes on to say, experts and company officials are warning that the world of blockchain-fueled digital currencies is entering a crypto winter, a period where the value of virtual coins plunge and remain low. We did see this in early 2018 and in mid-2020. The cryptocurrency sell-off has happened in the face of continuing inflation and increased interest rates, showing that the digital currencies are aligned with the stock market's downswing. The spectre of the crypto winter settling in has prompted some to sell their crypto mining equipment, which, luckily for gamers, means that the supply and pricing of GPUs is better than it has been for a while. I won't go over everything that this article covers because, the rest of it's kind of just about Bitcoin mining. I just want to give my thoughts on this new ASIC miner. So obviously it's good that people are branching out, like these big companies like Intel, Nvidia and stuff like that. When they start getting into the ASIC market, I think that they'll start to make way better chips than Bitmain or Goldshell, just because they have more money and better technology research. This means that in the future I think that these companies will start to take over, as they have with the GPU market. With Bitcoin mining still being a growing business and a growing sector, these companies will start to branch out and start making ASICs that are better than the ones that we can have now. So far, obviously, it's said that it's only shipped out to the Argo blockchain, the Grid and the Hive blockchain Bitcoin mining facilities, so we don't really know what the specs are for this Intel chip. It might be better than the current Bitmain or Goldshell ones, but it could be worse. We'll just have to find out until it hits the actual consumer market for us to buy it and then test it out. Overall, I think it would be good. I can't see it being less than the Bitmain or a Goldshell, just because, Intel has a lot of money, they would have put a lot of research into it, and they have rights to certain nanometer chips, so they could theoretically build a better ASIC. So if you're looking to buy an ASIC, it's obviously not the right time to do it now, but just wait a couple of months, see where the crypto market is, and if you want to get in and it's profitable, then I'd say go ahead and buy one. They are very expensive, but it's a good investment over the time. And the last article that we have is Samsung to make chips that can power Bitcoin mining. This will energize crypto. This kind of leads on from the story that we just covered then, because Intel's obviously made their own ASIC. Samsung might be making chips to make their own ASICs. The entry of the Samsung into 3nm foundry process manufacturing kicks off, and the South Korean firm will reportedly begin producing gate-all-around based chipsets this week. The electronics juggernaut is making fast progress towards ending the creation of chipsets that might help the mining of Bitcoin. The corporate alluded to the brand's new initiative in the course of the first quarter earnings name of 2022. 3nm chips can ease Bitcoin mining ache factors. It just goes on to say that Samsung's capability to supply 3nm processors is more likely to alleviate some Bitcoin mining difficulties, compared to the 5nm of course. The first generation of 3nm know-how can minimize energy utilization by as much as 45 PC, increase efficiency by 23 PC, and reduce space measurement by 16 PC. So if you didn't know, what happens in crypto mining, or what happens in basically any computer, is that the chip is the main thing that obviously runs. For a computer it'd be a CPU, but when it comes to graphics cards, it's obviously the chip that's in the actual card and powering it all. It basically works out that the shorter the distance, so in 3nm, basically the more powerful it is. Currently right now 5nm is the top end of the scale, but obviously Samsung have increased this to 3nm technology, which can obviously increase efficiency, utilization and space measurement, as it says here. I believe that the 3090 is a 7nm chip, so that's a big difference from 7 to 3, and I believe that they actually secured the 5nm chip for the 40 series. It then goes on to say the most important firm in South Korea will reportedly start trial fabrication for the 3nm chips for application-specific built-in circuits, or ASICs obviously. essentially the most environmentally friendly tools for Bitcoin mining. Chinese language ASIC firm is Samsung's first buyer. Stories have been that Samsung's first consumer is the Chinese language ASIC producer Pan Semi, which design ASICs used for Bitcoin mining. Qualcomm, Samsung's largest buyer, has additionally made reservations for the know-how, with the two corporations agreeing that Qualcomm can choose in at any time. However, it isn't dedicated. It then goes on to say chipsets seem to play a central function in Bitcoin mining, and I just talked about that. So basically, the thinner the chip, the better, thermal conductivity you get, the quicker the chip is. So this 3 nanometer technology is going to the Chinese language ASIC firm. So they're going to be making ASICs with this 3 nanometer technology, as they've obviously secured the technology from Samsung. So what does this mean? Well, ASICs are going to get quicker. Obviously, we know this. As the years have gone by, the chip nanometer has always gone down, and these new ASICs are coming out every 6 to 8 months, and each new one is faster than the other one. I believe that the newest ASIC, the Bitmain one, is run off 6 or 5 nanometer technology, so it doesn't really decrease by half if it goes down to 3 nanometer technology. The scaling's a bit different for nanometer technology in chipsets. We'll definitely see a way quicker ASIC in the next coming months coming out of these Chinese language ASIC firms. So that's it for the video, guys. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe to the channel. All the links for all these articles and the what to mine and Ethereum network status are in the description below.